What's up guys, my name is Phil. Welcome back to Miranda Detailing. In today's video, we're going to be working with the new Hybrid Solutions Pro Series. So guys, we have this 2005 Toyota Tundra in the shop for overspray removal and then a paint enhancement. Now, the overspray on this is horrible. It's mostly in the front end. Listen to this. Yeah, that is horrible. Now, the truck itself, I mean, look at the condition of the paint. It's rough, but, you know, the customer wants it smooth again, not like this. It's horrible. Now, we did a test spot over here to show the customer what we can do. So here is before, and now it's nice and smooth. Yep, so this is what we're shooting for. He was very happy with this. And then we're gonna polish it, so we're gonna get rid of that haziness. Not all these deep scratches and gouges, because again, it's an old vehicle and it's got a lot of issues going on. The back tailgate is all mushed up, so he's probably gonna replace that at some point. And you can see some weirdness going on here. It's because the roof was repainted and repainted badly at that. So again, nothing we can really do. We're gonna try to polish this and make it look better, but they blended into here, so yeah. It's gonna be annoying to try to blend that in with polishing, but we'll see what we can do. Now, like I mentioned, we're working with the new Hybrid Solutions Pro Series. I know, I have double of everything here because I ordered double of everything because I wanted double of everything. So we're gonna be working with the Precision Platelet one and done compound, correct and finish. Now, we're gonna be working with most likely the orange pads because we're not going for full correction here, just paint enhancement. So probably the orange, maybe the yellow, and we will use this compound and see how this stuff works. Now, we will be finishing it with the graphene infused to the max wax, and we'll also try this stuff out, the Flex wax also, you know, as a topper on top of that. The kit, you can already see the hand mark, comes with all these nice towels. Now again, it comes with one black, one green, and one of these nice fluffy grays. And it comes with two of these, and then it comes with one of each of the colors. So black, orange, yellow, and a Eurofiber, which is awesome. So that's what the kit comes with, as well as a black, really beautiful black 5-gallon bucket with the grit guard. So that's the full kit. If you want to check out that kit, check out the link down below. You can also buy all this stuff on Amazon. So if you want to get your hands on it, check out the Amazon links. But let's get to washing this thing first. We're going to wash it, and I'm going to see if we can clay bar it while we're washing it to make it easier, but I'm sure it's not going to all come off. We're probably going to have to bring it in and then clay bar it really aggressively to get this stuff off. And here's the clay that we're going to be working with. It's actually from Car Supply's warehouse. So there's surface clay, and it is level 3 intense. It is a very heavy duty clay. So we're going to need that to remove this horrible overspray. So guys, before we get started, as usual, if you aren't subscribed, definitely consider subscribing and clicking that bell so you don't miss stuff. Let's get started on this Tundra. So guys, here's a tip for winter. It is chilly out. I have my 5-gallon bucket there, my turtle wax, look at that, steaming. I put hot water in there, really hot water. Same with the wheel bucket. Now, don't worry, this is going to cool off. I know I'm saying hot water, but it will cool off. And once you put it to the paint, always put it on the paint first, not the glass. Your mitts cool off instantly, and then it'll be great to use as your washing and wheel bucket. So, as you notice, I have my sink all plumbed up. So check this out. Went through the brick, and on the brick on the outside, and the cinder block here, piped everything up, and I was fortunate enough to have a drain pipe right here that drains all the way out. So we just piped it right into there. That was perfect. So now I have a utility sink in here, fully plumbed hot and cold water. It is awesome. So If you are curious about drilling through this, I'll have the bit that I used down below. It worked perfectly. For 2.5-inch pipe, it was perfect. Or 2-inch pipe, I forget, 2.5, 2-inch. I'll have that link down below. It was cheap. It was like maybe $16, and it bore all the way through, no mess, perfect. So, hot and cold water, utility sink, perfect. Let's get started. Loving my new turtle wax bucket. So we're going to begin with pre-rinsing and APC rinsing. We are using, I believe that is Red Thunder from Malco, or it could be the Red Magic from Renegade. Either way, it's a degreaser. You can use whatever degreaser you choose. We dilute it 4:1. Great for wheels, tires, wheel wells, door jambs, all that stuff as we begin washing the vehicle. So let's just take a quick look around again. I showed you inside, but condition of the paint is really, really bad. So we're really hoping to improve this by at least 50%, if not 75%. Oh, look at that. That is horrible. All right, it's chilly out here. Let's get this thing started. Washing is done, and we actually used the clay mitt to try to see if it would remove the overspray, and not really good for overspray. The red clay, however, much better. We just did a little bit over here, it needs more, but that is definitely going to do it. We did it on the glass here, so that's good. And then over here, rough, smoother over here. So that red intense clay is definitely going to work. So it's chilly. Let's pull it into the garage and we'll clay bar the rest of it, get everything overspray free. You're on camera now. So we pulled it in and we're clay barring it. Here's a tip. We're using this little measuring cup full of hot water, as hot as I can get it out of the sink, and we're putting the clay bar in it to soften it. That really does help with keeping it malleable. So this is the intense clay, really aggressive. And I'm going to actually cut this in half, and I'm going to keep 1/2 in the hot water, and the other half I'm going to work with. And when this gets chilly, because the paint is still pretty cold, then I'll switch it out. We're just using American Detailer Garage Wipeout. It looks like, you know, she's using the glass cleaner bottle, so you'll notice that it's the same stuff that's in here. And I am going to take this off also, so we will get to that in a moment. Ah, I wonder if you can hear that. It is bad. But it is getting better and better, and there's nothing, you're not seeing anything on the clay because it's clear coat overspray. So it is working. It's just going to take a while. And it is picking up something on the paint. I don't know what, but the paint is not in the greatest of shape. So it is picking up something else on the paint. I don't know what. It's gross. But it's probably just tree gunk and grime and all that. But nice and soft now, nice and smooth. That's what we want. So over here, much better. All right, so it's working. So, all right, I'm just gonna time lapse this because this is gonna take forever.
Wow, and it's really marring. Well, unless it was already just.
Oh, the paint's in horrible shape anyway. All right, guys, this is coming out great. But it is really, really marred up, but it was swirled really bad before. So when it comes to doing overspray jobs or when you're polishing, do you really have to be that careful about your whole wash process? No, you don't. If you want to, you go right ahead and you spend as much time as you want with the wash and deconning process. I didn't use any iron remover or tar remover. There's no need to. This is an overspray removal job and a paint enhancement after that because of the aggressive claying. So remember that. Don't waste chemical if you don't need to. Do you really think it's going to be removing that much iron and tar off the paint? If you see tar, then you use it. Iron you can't always see on dark paint. You can't see it anyway, but the clay bar is going to be shearing off all of the top iron particles, the embedded particles anyway. If you just want to do it because you feel that you have to do it, because you want to dissolve the iron and all that stuff, then go right ahead. But each job is going to be different, and you use and you do what's appropriate for each job. We're a business, we're not an enthusiast, we're not doing this on the side. This is what we do day in and day out for over 11 years. So we're running a business here. Are we going to do quality work? Yes. But we know where to draw the line between quality work and going overboard and wasting money and time. There's a balance. So keep that stuff in mind if you are doing this as a business. If you're doing it as an enthusiast, then you do whatever you want to do. But the paint is now really feeling good. The grill area is pretty intricate. We're gonna have to go over it and over it and over it to get all the overspray off, but this clay is amazing. Guys, if you wanna get your hands on this clay, I'll have the links down below. It's from Car Supplies Warehouse. It's their own clay. They did a bunch of research and found this clay to be one of the best aggressive clays, and it is. It's awesome stuff. So, we're gonna continue. We're gonna get this all clayed. Again, the back portion's not as bad. The roof is repainted, so there's nothing on there. It was from that clear coat overspray. Clear coating the top, that overspray got onto the paint, and it was mostly just the front. So we'll get this done, and then we'll get to using the new Turtle Wax Pro products.
Get to be using it.
Get to be using it.
Thumbs up.
Just fogged up the camera lens. This is all done. No, we're not done. Just the clay barring is done. Now it's nice and smooth. Glass is good, paint is good. We couldn't get this stupid thing off because it is, here, let me show you. It's tucked under this grill. I would have to take this grill apart, and there's a piece under here that's tucked under it. I'm not gonna do that, sorry. I'm just not, it's too risky, I don't wanna break anything. So I'm gonna clean in there, and I can actually get to the edge. And I know there's gonna be gunk in between here, but that's the way it is. I don't wanna take apart too many things and risk snapping screws and snapping little plastic knobs in there. It's just not worth it. So I'll tell the customer, couldn't remove that, and I'm always honest with them anyway. It's not a big deal. Most customers are not going to freak out about that. If you can't do it and you didn't risk breaking anything, they're gonna be happy. So don't worry about that. Someone please call 911. Feel my happy heart. Well, the paint really doesn't look any different as far as swirls go than before, but so much better. Yep, nice and smooth now. There might be little patches here and there. I still feel little patches here and there. That could just be the paint too. But yeah, overall, it feels really good. This was the worst of it. Up here, the grill part, oh yeah, nice and silky smooth. That feels great. Fenders. So the worst part was here, then the grill, then the fenders, and then it just kind of gets better and better towards the back. So there was really nothing here. Windshield was gritty, but now that feels good. All right, good. We are well on our way. We're gonna get the blower out, blow all the cracks and crevices, get as much water out of all the cracks and crevices as possible, and then we'll get to polishing. All right, guys, the paint is nice and smooth. It's ready now for polishing. So we're gonna use the new One and Done compound, and my trusty cordless polisher with the Lake Country CCS pad, the orange one. Now I'm going with the orange because I'm not going for full paint correction here, I'm going for enhancement. I want to remove that haziness and maybe 50% of the swirls or more. We'll see how it turns out. I have my towels here, so I might need a damp one. I'll figure out which one I want to dampen to wipe off the product. So let's try it out. This is the first time we're trying this out, and I'm excited to see what it does. I just put 4 small drops on here. We'll go from there and see if we need more or less, and so on, and then we'll see the results. Now, I've been using these lately just because the polishing is, the noise, you know, gets to me after a while, so it's good to have some ear protection. So I'm going to put this on medium. All right, that's just a few simple passes. Let's see how wipe off is. Huh. Wow, I wasn't expecting that. I was actually expecting a little bit more of, not a difficult wipe off, but, you know, needing to use a damp towel, and I did not need that at all. At least in this instance, and on this paint, I didn't. It wipes off incredibly easy. Okay. Let's bring you in. Check this out. Now, just a few simple passes. That's all it was from this is before, to after. What do you think, guys? What do you think? I didn't put a lot of pressure, and in fact, my battery was dying. I need to replace the battery on this. So it wasn't really full power. But, you be the judge. A few simple passes. So from that to this. Now, can we go further? Yeah, we sure could. But for this job, I don't need to. That will make the customer extremely happy. I know that because I've communicated with him already, and he is going to be extremely happy about these results. Look at the metallic flake. It's popping now. And overlook the little tiny stuff. Look, there's blemishes here. This is not a high-end vehicle. This is a work truck, a daily driver. And for results like this, that is awesome. And the paint, wow. It feels incredibly smooth. Let's do an IPA wipe down, see what happens. So for a wipe down, let's use Geon Prep. It's a really good prep solution, an IPA, if you will. And I'm being aggressive. I usually don't spray that much when I'm doing an IPA wipe down if I need to. I'm being pretty aggressive with this just to see what it can do. Usually I just spray it onto the towel and gently go over the surface. Let's see if it made a difference. So again, this is the original. This is before and after. So did it bring anything back? You be the judge. Now granted, the paint is in horrible shape. So remember that. And this is just a few simple passes. Now, I'm probably going to go a little bit further. Maybe do a little bit extra pressure and slower passes to get a better result. Just because I want to push this product to the limit and see what we can do with it. In fact, I may even pull out the Eurofiber and hit a few sections just to see what it can do. So as we work around the vehicle, you'll see us use that with a couple of different pads to see what it can do. But that is impressive. So from this originally to that. Yeah, you be the judge. Application was easy, wipe off was easy, it smells delicious. So let's continue working and we'll show you some before and afters as we work around the vehicle. So another thing that I noticed, it's not producing any dust, and it's not really gumming the pad up that bad. I still will blow the pad out every few panels, but you don't need a lot. I put another 3 drops, pea-sized drops, like small, and that's it. This stuff spreads really far and has a long working cycle. So you can push on it, you can put pressure on it, you can go nice and slow, and you get more and more cutting ability out of it. For a one and done type of compound / polish, this stuff is really impressive. Now again, it all depends on the type of paint you're dealing with. This paint seems to be on the medium to soft side. It's actually really forgiving, and the results are impressive. So I'm going to do the rest of the half of this hood and then again show you a really nice 50-50. But so far, the application, the usability of the new one and done compound is very enjoyable. It's really, really nice to use. So it's producing some incredible results. I can't wait until this summer to try this stuff out in the heat and sun, you know, on a dark colored vehicle, black vehicle in full sun and heat. That would really be an amazing test. All these products have slightly different chemistry, so you have to remember that. So it's sometimes difficult to compare one to the other. It's not really about comparisons. It's about using the right product for the right job. And this stuff is performing extremely well on this. So I'm really, really happy.
What? Look how good that looks. Wow.
Yep, I'm impressed, right?
Yeah.
Oh, are you using that fluffy towel?
Uh-huh.
Oh, you like the fluffy towel, huh?
Yeah.
That was supposed to be for the wax.
Oh, well.
Oh, well. Okay. Get right in the way. Let's step it up, because this section here is really bad. You can see like somebody went over it like with a rake or a shovel. It's really bad. Yeah, you can see the lines there. So we'll increase the cut here. We'll go to the yellow pad, see what that does, and maybe all the way to the Eurofiber, just to see if we can improve this. And play with the product and kind of push it to its limits. Another thing I like, that's really close. There we go. Another thing I like about the product is it's thick. It's a thick viscosity. I just like that because you put it on the pad and you don't have to worry about it running. It's just something of note. There's absolutely no sling with this at all. And again, that is because of its viscosity. If it's really, really thin, it will tend to fling off the pad and make a mess. This does not do that. No dusting, no slinging. So far, I really like this product. Wow, that did a really good job. So check this out, guys. That did an amazing job. It really rounded off those edges extremely well. That's what it was before, really deep like that. And it cleared up the swirls, and these are just so deep. But that is impressive. Let's go a little further and see what we can do. I'm gonna take a measurement just to see if there's plenty of clear coat here to play with, and then we'll kick it up to the Eurofiber and see if we can make this look a little better. I'm not shooting for 100%. Don't always do that because you can compromise the paint, compromise the clear coat. Just shoot for improvement and see what we can do. Oh yeah, this was repainted. We're in the 9s, 9 mils. Yeah. And in this area especially, 9.4 down here, 8.1. Yeah. Okay, so this is definitely repainted. Again, it doesn't mean that it's 9 mils of clear coat. I'm still going to assume 2 to maybe 3 mils of clear coat, which is fine. That's safe. So we can go a little further, but again, tread carefully, do this at your own discretion, and always ask the customer do you want to risk that? So that's always smart to do. So we're switching to a Eurofiber, and I'm not gonna go any heavier than this. This is pretty heavy. Not as heavy, I believe, as the microfiber cutting discs or the Lake Country cutting discs, but still very heavy cutting, and we'll see what this can do. Don't overheat the panel. It's warm, but I can put my hand on it. If you do this and it's so hot that you can't keep your hand on it, too much heat. It is going to swell. The clear coat's going to swell when there's too much heat, and it's just compromising it. You don't want to build up so much heat. Pad is fine. Pad is cool after 30 seconds or so. Wow. Okay. This is impressive, very impressive. Now, I'm not gonna go any further than this. That's my call. You can do whatever you want, but this is my call. I'm not going any further, but look how it has really rounded out the edges, so much so that it's really reduced. It's really reduced this heavy scratching a lot. Even down here, I haven't touched this, but this was extending into here, and you can see how much of it really rounded off. It did an excellent job. Even for a heavy compound to get these types of scratches out, it's building heat. Probably the best thing would be to gently wet sand this 25 or 2000 and then 3000 to really get those out, only if the customer really requested to get them out, and understanding that it's thinning the clear coat and it is a risk. Don't go wet sanding without informing the customer of that, because you'll be paying to repaint an entire hood if you burn through. If you remember what it looked like before, it was horrible. So using all of those pads, look how clear. If it wasn't for those scratches, look how clear the paint is. That is impressive. It's so crisp and clear. Love it. So I finally got myself one of these Rupes conditioning brushes and pad removal tools. It's actually really handy. I like this a lot. I like that the bristles are nice and short, so you can clean the pad. That stuff really smells good. It's slightly different than the regular Hybrid Solutions lineup of scent. It's different. It's same type of fruity scent, but just slightly different. It smells really nice. Well, that cleans up the fibers extremely well. This stuff does not gum up the pads. I'm really impressed with it. Then you can use this to remove the pad. It just slices behind it, and you can safely remove the pad. Over time, the Velcro starts to tear apart. So I'm gonna go back to the orange pad because that's all I need, but I wanted to at least go through those pads to show you what it was capable of. This stuff is pretty heavy cutting, very impressive. The finish of it is mind-blowingly amazing. So we're gonna test it on different vehicles. It's working extremely well on this paint, on this vehicle. This is repainted, and like I said before, it's on the medium to soft, scale. And even this, the orange pad, is doing an excellent job of cutting it and finishing it. I'm just gonna clean this pad out really fast. Yeah, look how nice it cleans out of the pad. You can actually see into the pores of the pad without gumming it up. So get yourself one of these tools. It does really save some time, and it saves your pads too. So it's a nice handy tool to have. Honest opinion, what do you think about it?
just died.
Oh, that's okay.
That was like the worst timing. I'm not prepared for this. You can't just do this to me.
Take two. Honest opinion. What do you really think about it?
It smells nice.
You don't like the wipe off.
The wipe off is kind of a pain.
Okay. You're using a damp towel?
Yeah.
And then a dry one?
Semi-damp.
Okay. Well, I don't think the wipe off is that bad. I think that's more opinion based, but you know, I think to each their own. Maybe it's because my arm is so strong, but maybe not. I don't know. I don't find it to be that big of a deal. It's not a super easy wipe off like a finishing polish. It's a wipe off like a compound to me.
Right.
But what are the results showing though?
It's pretty awesome.
Yeah. That might be a little gripe that you might have, is you might not like the wipe off. I don't think it's that bad, but I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm just so used to products like that. So, but results are incredible. Look how glossy. And the marring from all the clay barring is coming right out. Did you attack up there yet?
No.
Oh, I want to see what I can do on that, because that is horrible.
I think it's failing.
Oh, it could be failing. Okay, we'll have to tread carefully on that. So guys, yeah, we have differing opinions. She wants a nicer wipe off, a better wipe off. I don't think it's that big of a deal, but maybe that's just me. I don't really care that much. It's not that huge of a deal for me. I think it wipes off fine. It's a little grabby at first, but then all the residue comes off clean. 3D1 is the same way. 3D1 is a little oily and a little residuey, and it takes quite a few passes to wipe off all the residue. But the results themselves are incredible. So maybe if you're using it with the black pad on really delicate paint, black delicate paint, we're going to try that out when we do get a vehicle like that and see how it performs on soft, finicky. Really? Really?
Whoops.
Trying to talk here. We'll try it out on soft, finicky paint and see what happens. All right, back to work. Somebody is a slave driver here. Talking about you.
Get to work! Whoosh.
So we're hitting all the plastic with Stoner's Trim Shine. That makes it nice and easy. Sure, we could use something else, but you know what? We use what we want when we want. There, I said it. So the paint is looking incredible. Look how glossy that looks. Now, what you saw here on both sides was overspray and some heavy, heavy marring. I don't know what they did to this, but they painted the roof. That was repainted within a few months ago, and they blended it here. It still feels, that's not overspray per se, that's a blending mark. So it's blended over here. I don't know why they did that. and not just go all the way to the edge, but they left this area all messed up. So, you know, that would take some wet sanding to kind of clear out, but we're not going to be doing any wet sanding. It was just to get the heavy overspray removal off the majority of the paint. But here, they had, I don't know what they did, but it was all hazy, oxidized, whatever. And that compound took it right out easily. No problems at all. Glossed it right up. It looks amazing. When we look at these, look how bad they look. This is actually like the rubber rotting away. It's mildew on the surface. It can actually be scratched off. You could probably polish that or compound it with a pad. Don't, you know, not with a machine, by hand. I'm going to have a separate video to show you how we restored these, because our Sequoia has the same issue, same problem. So we found a remedy for it. So we will do a separate video for that. If I already have it out, it'll be up in the card. If not, wait for it. It will be here soon. But overall, the paint is looking incredible. So glossy, it's slick, and we're going to be trying out the new Max Wax in a moment, and then topping it with the Flex Wax as well. But we're doing the trim. Just showed the back area. The cowl was just sprayed down. Let it soak in, and then we'll wipe it off. Yes, it gets on the paint and the glass. Not a problem. You just wipe it off. But so far, this thing is looking incredible. He is going to be so happy with it. And that's really the name of the game. Not that we're happy with it, because we could go further. We could go more and more and more and get this thing near perfection, despite its imperfections, like a big dent there. We could go further on the paint, but give the customer what they're paying for, and don't give them more than what they're paying for, that much more, because then you can get yourself in a hole, spending way too much time doing things that you don't need to do, that the customer is not paying for or not expecting you to do. So if you're an enthusiast and you want to go 110%, go right away. Go right away. Go right ahead. But we're a business, and we need to keep things balanced. Balancing quality and customer service. So guys, let's talk about the one and done compound. I'm very happy with it, very impressed with it. When it comes to pros and cons, for a few of the pros is that it works extremely well. It is pad dependent, so whether you're using a fine polishing pad all the way up to a microfiber cutting pad, it has the cut. It has the cut there, and it has the finish. Open working cycle, you can really work that compound for a long, long time, and it doesn't dry out, it doesn't dust on you, so that's pretty impressive. The only con that I didn't really find it as a con, but I guess you might or others might, the wipe off is a slight, like a tad bit difficult. Like there's a little bit of drag to getting the first layer off, but then after that, it wipes off clean. There's no residue or anything like that. There's no smearing. If you want to use a damp towel, you can, but I didn't find it necessary. I'm used to that. I'm used to compounds that you need to, you know, wipe off that top layer first because it's dried on you a little bit, and it's going to add a little bit of resistance, but then after that, it's fine. But I found that to be the case with most compounds anyway, so it's not a big deal. My wife found it a little difficult to remove. You don't like the wipe off.
The wipe off is kind of a pain.
So, you know, that might be based on your opinion and what you're used to as well. If you're used to compounds and polishes that just wipe off, you know, like a breeze, well, you know, there's different chemistry. So these are a different type of chemistry in there. So, you know, to each their own. That can kind of be subjective. I didn't find a problem with the wipe off, but that's just me. But I was very impressed with the cut. The cutting ability is incredible, and the finish, incredible. So for a paint enhancement, I love it. We'll probably use this on some other vehicles that we are doing some paint corrections on, especially black finicky paint. That will be a really good test to see how well it can finish out. Now on to protection. We're going to be using the Max Wax. This is the liquid wax, the foundation. We could just use the Flex Wax, spray it on, and call it done. We could do that because the protection is there as well. But I want to try this out, see how it applies both by hand and by machine. I'm going to most likely do this by machine because it's quicker, and I think it spreads the product out thinner, and I think I just get a better result from that. Anyway, but you do what you want to do, hand or machine, doesn't matter. Let's try it out by hand and see how this stuff performs. So let's go on to applying the Max Wax. Make sure to shake it up. Shake all these products up anyway. With any product, shake it up. That just made a mess. Thanks for the support.
You're welcome.
Now, I was wondering if I should dampen this or not, because sometimes it makes it easier to spread. Let's just do it dry and see what happens. That's all, just that much. Ooh, oh wow, okay. This might be faster by hand. It's so smooth, like no resistance, no drag. Then again, this is freshly polished paint. If you're doing this to paint that you just clay barred and you didn't really even polish it, you might find some drag. Maybe not, I don't know. This is incredibly smooth. Again, it's so subjective. Maybe it's my arms. I don't know, that's very subjective. I find it easy and smooth to work with. Same thing goes with beading. I did a video and someone said the beading is dead on that, on the Ethos Ceramic Pro Wax. Did you watch the entire video? Well, it's all right. I don't take to bullying type of comments like that. And I just blocked it, deleted it, got rid of it. And then I saw it on a different channel that I was following. Saw it again. Like, oh my goodness. It's so ridiculous. But other people watched it and can clearly see that it was beading and sheeting really well. Was it like ceramic coating quality? No. Don't think you're going to get ceramic coating quality out of that type of a product. It's not. The beading is going to be different. But it was still beading and sheeting really well. Very impressive. Ooh, okay. Well, the wipe off on this is pretty clean. I'm not running into any smearing, and it wipes off really nice. However, sometimes in flat light, it's hard to see smearing. Oh yeah, okay, a little bit of smearing, just like the hybrid solutions, like spray coating. It does that little bit of smearing, but yeah, a damp towel would fix that, I know. Oh, and then it just kind of goes away. So when you wipe it with the towel, it's the residue that's on the towel kind of reapplies it onto the paint, and then it kind of flashes away. Yeah, okay. It goes away. So if you do see some of that smearing, it does go away. All right, that's pretty easy to apply. I'm really happy with that. Hand application, surprisingly easy, and I don't like hand applying waxes. I think it usually takes too long. I don't like it. But this was actually very easy to use. It spreads very smooth. No drag, no resistance. It just spreads over the panels like nothing. So that's kind of impressive. I like that. I like that ability for a wax to spread incredibly easy. And I did about a third of this hood with just those like little 3 drops. And that's it. So it goes a long, long way. I still have enough on here to do some of these sections. Okay. Now, I just want to see removal, but you are supposed to let this haze. So, it doesn't really give you a time. Let's see. 2 to 3 minutes. All right, so wait 2 to 3 minutes. Let's do that again, and I'll let it haze this time, and this will depend on where you're doing this. The temperature, humidity, all of that. If you're doing it mobily and you're in full sun, it's gonna haze quicker, it's gonna dry quicker. So this says 2 to 3 minutes, it could be a minute and under. So keep that in mind. So I'm gonna reapply it onto this. Yeah, it just spreads very, very nice. And you can go circular motion, straight line, it doesn't matter. You're not creating swirls by doing this. Swirls are created by improper washing and drying with horrible mitts and towels and all of that. This is a nice, clean, fresh applicator. No grit, no dirt, nothing. That's what creates swirls. This is nice. I'm gonna go in circular motions just because I'm getting full coverage, and then I'll go back over in straight line motions like this. Nice. So this is the wax on the paint. Look how thin it is. Very thin application, like just a little bit of residue. That's it. Nice and thin. And that's what you want to do. So I'm going to give you a little bit of a point of view here to show you how well this stuff spreads. I didn't do this section yet. That's drying. So easy, so smooth. Really like that. Now I know this is actually applied really thick here, but use that and keep spreading it out. This will most likely do the rest of the hood. You can keep stretching out the wax all the way to the edge here, which is what I'm going to do. And it is going to be thinner here, but it doesn't matter if it's thicker over here or thinner over here. That does not matter. What matters is making sure every inch is covered. Whether it's thick or thin, it's going to leave the same amount of protection on the paint. Now I'm going to go in straight lines. There. Nice and thin, even coverage. It's a little thick over here. I'm going to spread this out a little bit more. Oh, lovely. Really protecting ourselves.
It's really working.
We're going to do all these little bits by hand as well. So the whole grill and front area here will all be protected with the Max Wax. We're going to let this haze, and let's see if it does really haze up that much, or we'll just wait 2 to 3 minutes and then wipe it off. Okay, so we've let it haze, and here's what we found. The wipe off is slightly grabby, slightly, but that's just if you're using a dry towel. We dampened this microfiber, and we're going to use it to remove the top layer of the wax, and then use the fluffy one to dry. And that's it. That's the ticket. So that removes easily, and then the slickness really starts to come through on this wax. Oh, that's nice. Okay, so that is the difference. So when you just wipe it off with a dry towel, you're not going to like it. Use a damp towel. Just do that. That's the technique with these products. That's what they need. In fact, this is what activates, it's supposed to activate the graphene molecules in here, and that will set it and also make it easier to wipe off. Is it going to affect durability? That's yet to be seen, but the products are meant to be used this way, so it's not a problem. Oh, wow. That's amazing. Feel this. That is lovely. Yeah, that's awesome. Okay, so that's the key. Use a damp towel and then a dry towel. Now, our preferred method is machine apply. So we're using the black pad that came with the kit and just machine apply it. Nice, even, thin application. So after machine applying it, we're just going to let it sit there, and we'll go panel by panel and just continue all the way down and give it 2 to 3 minutes, and we'll go back and wipe where we started. All right, bye. I'm going to go get coffee.
Okay, bye. Bye.
So guys, it's been about 2 minutes on this panel here. Let's see the wipe off. Again, damp towel, dry towel. If you use a dry towel only, you're not going to be happy. Use a damp towel. This removes that top layer effortlessly. No problems whatsoever with it. Dry towel right after. Really amps up the gloss, removes any of the residual, and then you really feel the slickness to this product. It does kind of feel like the water activates it and makes it feel incredible. Oh, I love it. Now, some are going to say that it's not easy. You have to use a damp towel, then a dry towel, and using 2 towels, and blah, blah, blah. It's subjective. I find it easy. It's not that big of a deal. Some products require you to do an extra step. Are coatings easy to apply and remove? Yeah, they are. But what do they require? All of the prep work and good lights, fresh new towels, a good applicator. So it requires a bunch of stuff, but is it easy? Yes, it is. So it's not that big of a deal. Use a damp towel, dry towel. The results are going to be awesome. You'll be happy with the results. Same goes with the Modesta coatings. They are to be applied in a meticulous order, in a meticulous way. Does that make them difficult to apply? Not really. Because you need to do all this prep work, you need to use the right prep polishes for the Modesta coating. You need to also make sure to use a wet applicator. It's a wet application. And then you dry it off with the towel. So it's all these different things. And then you have to use IR lights to cure the product on the paint. So if you consider that difficult, that's up to you. But really, in essence, it's not difficult to apply that stuff. It's just the procedures, the process. Get used to it. If you're a detailer, get used to those types of procedures. Different products are going to require different application methods. They're all about the same, but you might need to add or subtract something to it to make it work. That's all. It's really not that big of a deal. Another thing to remember when working with any type of products, but especially the Hybrid Solutions products, because it does take a wet towel to remove it. Everybody's going to have their own take on it, their own opinion. But watch all the other videos. Watch Brian from Apex and Brian from Fab. Watch John from Forensics and all the other guys that are out there. Gabe from Total Detailing. I know he's working with those polishers. He got them before me, and he's already posting stuff on the white Tesla that he's doing, and it looks awesome. So if Gabe likes it, that's a good sign, because not to say that you're picky, Gabe, but you know good stuff. So that's a good thing. And it's okay to be picky about products. That's your prerogative. You do what you want to do. I'm usually not that tough on products. Not to say that I like everything, because there are certain products that I just, meh, they're just not impressive, where other products are. But, you know, I use some products that people wouldn't find to be good. But I like them. I'm fine with it. I don't really care that much if a product is not having quite the durability that it says or that people want. It's not that big of a deal. I'm more about ease of application and how it looks on the paint. Durability is going to really be a bunch of different variables that go into it. So durability is also all about maintenance. Make sure to properly maintain your vehicle, because even with a good quality coating or sealant, if you're not maintaining it, it won't last all the way to its intended durability. So make sure to watch all the other videos that are coming out, the good, the bad, the ugly, whatever. Watch them all and then try it for yourself. And then you make up your mind. And try it in different ways. Shop environment, outside, on different paints. Then you'll really see if you like the product or not. It's working for us right now in this environment, on this paint, on this particular job. It's working perfectly. Will it work on other jobs, on other paints? Yet to be determined. We'll see. But it's designed to. It's designed to work that way. Does 3D1 also work with all different paints? Yeah, it does. But there's some paints that are too hard that it really doesn't do much on. You have to kick it up to something else. Each product has its pros and cons, and people will have their likes and dislikes. But don't let that deter you from trying a product out for yourself. You make that decision for yourself. Don't let others persuade you, even me, just because I use a bunch of these different products and I enjoy them and I say that I like them and they're great and I'm showing you all the results and what they can do. You try it for yourself and then you make up your own mind. Now the base layer is done. This stuff is so incredibly slick. Again, remember, use a damp towel to wipe off the initial, then use a dry towel. You're gonna feel the gloss instantly. You don't feel the gloss if you don't feel the gloss. You don't feel the slickness. The slickness is what you're gonna feel. You're not gonna feel that slickness just wiping it off with a dry towel. It's gonna be horrible to remove it with a dry towel. It's a pain. Remove it with the wet towel and then use the dry. Oh my goodness. Seriously?
Whoops.
Can you make any more noise?
I could. Yeah.
So yes, remember, just use the damp towel, then you'll feel the slickness right away when you start drying it with the dry towel. It's weird. It's built into the technology, it's built into the product, that's what it is. Use the damp towel, dry towel. So, with that being said, I can't emphasize that enough because we're gonna see all these videos of people applying it incorrectly. This is the method you need to apply this, plain and simple. So, now we're gonna try the Flex Wax. Now, could I just leave it at that and not use this? Yeah, sure, I could, because that base layer is already bonded, it's good to go, no curing, but again, if you wait 24 hours, it's better. That's for any product, even waxes and sealants. If you wait 24 hours indoors, untouched, no rain or anything like that, then you're gonna see better durability. That's just the way it goes. So, even though it says no curing, it's not your typical type of ceramic curing. The best results are gonna come from letting the product sit and have time on the paint. Now it can go outside, that's fine. You just don't want it getting wet. Any wax or sealant, once you start getting heavy rainwater on it, who knows what it's going to do. If you get rainwater from trees and all that, you get sap and all sorts of junk in the paint, in the water, it gets onto the paint, you can run into problems. So you're gonna hear a lot of guys say, it has no cure time, but let it sit for 24 hours. That's fine. That's just good practice, I think. So let's check out the application with just dry application, see if it makes a difference. So again, I'm gonna use a fluffy towel that was provided in the kit. I love these towels. These are like 500 GSM. Shake up the products. I'm gonna spray it onto the towel. 2 mists, and just work in this small section here. And let's see if it leaves any type of residue or any type of smearing. Maybe I'll go a little heavier and see if it smears. Then flip. Okay, so same type of thing that I'm seeing, or that I saw with the other wax when I was wiping it. It has like a slight smear to it, and then it flashes away. Which a lot of waxes and sealants, spray waxes and sealants do that anyway. But I'm not really seeing that big of a deal. Here, let's see. Oh, yeah, okay. All right, interesting. Well, I don't know if it's just because it's on its own base layer of protection, or if that's the way that this stuff is. It's not leaving any type of smearing like the other Hybrid Solutions spray coating does. You don't need to use a wet towel for it. At least I'm not seeing it right now. If you use it outdoors, maybe. But again, if you have issues with that smearing, use a damp towel. I have it here if I need it, and use that to kind of hit that residue and get that residue away. Somebody wanted to say it all. Gosh, I can't talk today. This is supposed to be a very important video. All right, bottom line, guys, it's not smearing on me, so I don't have to use the wet towel. But if you do find it smearing, use the wet towel. Again, that's just the application method. But I'm not finding it to smear at all. Let's apply it kind of heavy and see what it does. I'm gonna spray it right onto the paint. That's actually kind of a lot. I don't think you really need to use that much at all. Let's see if it smears, gives us any issues. A light like this will really make those smears show up a lot more. I'm seeing it, but the more I wipe, it goes away. That's awesome. So even over application, I'm not having any issues with it. That might differ for you. Remember, might be different for you, but for me, in this application, in this method, inside a controlled area, working perfectly. Again, we'll see what it does in a mobile setting, in heat and humidity, and see how it applies. But very happy. It's just adding more slickness, more gloss. So another cool thing about this product is its application method. Check out what it says in the back here. It can be used as a base coat, a one-step, which means while wet after washing, rinse, apply 2 sprays per panel, and towel dry. So a drying aid. I don't know why it says one step, but I guess that's another way of saying it, but a drying aid. And then a rinse wax. So you can spray it onto already a panel or paint that has a base layer. So use it as base layer first, and then subsequent maintenance details or washes, wash the paint, rinse it, and then spray it on the panel and rinse it off, pressure wash it off, or with your garden hose or whatever. And again, it's going to bond to itself. It's not going to bond to bare paint. I've tested it and it doesn't do well in that way. At least I haven't found it to. It bonds to itself, its own graphene base layer that's already on the paint. So I guess in a way, and I don't know if this is scientifically or chemically accurate, but I view it like these little tiny particles, this web of graphene, these particles that are all bonded together on the paint. Over time, 1 or 2 of them might come loose and kind of weaken that web. I don't know if that's accurate or not, so don't quote me on that. This is just in my mind how I'm picturing it. So if any of those little chinks in the armor, this web of protection, come loose, this stuff is going to fill in those little areas. So you can rinse it, and hopefully those particles will find their place in that web of protection. Oh, kind of like that. You see that? See that web of protection? Kind of looks like the Spider-Man suit. That's what we're talking about. It's that type of a matrix. That's what graphene does. And most coatings do. They kind of create this bond, this web of protection. So it's going to fill in those little empty spots, hopefully, and keep the protection on there. Is that scientifically and chemically accurate, you know, from a chemist viewpoint? I don't know. But essentially, you can think about it that way. So use this for maintenance. So 3 different ways of using this stuff. Pretty awesome. So I'm happy with its application. I'm happy with its gloss. Durability is yet to be seen. We might test it on our own. We'll put it on our own vehicle and see how long this stuff lasts. And then we'll give you some more updates on it. But as far as application goes and what that compound can do, impressive.
Yeah.
And I'm happy.
Yep. Oh yeah. You said happy like 1,000 times.
Happiness is the truth. I'm happy, 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 happy. So as I was cleaning the windshield, I noticed that. That's overspray. Yeah. So it didn't come off with the clay barring, but that's because it's so heavy, clay barring is not going to do anything. I removed some right here, and I'll show you how we did that. So I'm going to just take a damp towel, dampen the area, and use a razor. It's the only way to get this overspray off. Use a razor blade and be careful, but it will remove all of that ugly overspray. There. Oh, much better. All right, so it's slightly damp, but I'm going to spread on the flex wax just to add the protection and dry the panel doing this one-handed, standing on this thing. So a straight razor like that, a razor blade, will help remove that overspray on the glass. The Tundra is done. Guys, this was a pleasure to work on. These products make things easier. They just do. Am I pushing the products? No. Am I getting paid for this? No. This is a job that we decided to do with these products. In fact, they came in last minute. They came in yesterday, and this job came in last night, and I didn't know what products I was going to use on this overspray removal job to get the job done. Now, the overspray removal was in itself a separate type of thing. These products didn't make a difference whatsoever. The clay barring did. So I'll have the links to the clay bar down below. That goes to Car Supply's warehouse. And that clay, incredible. But on this paint, it does leave some marring because it's an aggressive clay bar. So with that said, all of the overspray was removed, and it was heavy. The majority of it was on the hood, and we had to go over it and over it and over it and over it. And when I thought I got all of it off and I dried it, I had to clay a couple more portions because it was just so bad. It's all removed. It's now slick and glossy. The beauty of this stuff right here, this is most likely going to be one of my new favorite products for 2020 and 2021. This stuff, the one and done compound, is pretty awesome. Is it going to be groundbreaking and game changing? I don't know yet. For me, this stuff gets the job done. It works incredibly well, and it's a pleasure to use. And yes, I did get one of the kits free from Turtle Wax, but I bought the other one at 130 bucks. So I got 2 kits, 2 buckets. I got double of everything because I wanted double of everything. Usually I like to double up on the products because I want to have one in here, one in the trailer. And now with my wife polishing, I had to get double of everything, double the SPTA cordless polishers, and I wanted 2 of these compounds because we're working on either side of the vehicle and I hate going back and forth. So I got double of everything. I purchased the other kit, and I have to say, I'm very impressed with the compound. I'm really enjoying it. Some of the pros and cons, very quickly, there's only one con that I can think of that might be opinion-based, is the wipe-off. It's not completely super easy to wipe off, but it's not a big deal. I've had worse, much, much worse. In fact, a lot of guys are going to probably compare this to 3D1, which I also love, and that stuff is incredible, but the wipe-off is pretty oily. So you have to continue to wipe the stuff off, and it clogs up your towels eventually. I didn't find this to clog up my towel, but the initial wipe, I guess, if you're concerned about that, might be a little tough. It might, resist the towel a little bit, but then after that, it wipes off. No smearing, no residue, it wipes off clean. This does not have fillers or anything in there. It's gonna have polishing oils, but those polishing oils can easily be removed with just a very light IPA, like a 10 to 15% IPA. If you wanna try it for yourself, give it a try. If you wanna try just different compounds and polishes because you enjoy it, then go ahead and purchase some. If you already have something that works for you, then stick with it. It doesn't really make a difference to me if you like the product or not. I use it, it works, plain and simple. So what we use for protection, to the max wax. Now this stuff, very easy to use, but remember, you have to let it sit on the paint for like 2 to 3 minutes. If you're in heat and humidity, less time. And the wipe off, use a wet towel, then a dry towel. That's just the nature of it, get used to it. The results are incredible. The slickness, the gloss, protection is yet to be seen. We'll check that out later. But even if the protection is not like super, super long term, or it's the super tight beads that everybody likes to see, if it's protecting the paint and it's beading water and sheeting it, that's the point. You want to make sure that at least it is beading and sheeting water. Everybody is going to complain about beading properties if they see oblong beads or it's not super tight beading like a true ceramic coating. Look guys, it's not a ceramic coating. Ceramic coating, a true ceramic coating, is different application, everything's different. These are easy to use products and you can get them right now. I have links down below, you can buy them on Amazon, try them for yourself. They're affordable, so why are you griping about the beads? Not that big of a deal. If you want tight beads, use a true ceramic coating. Make sure to do all the prep and all that stuff beforehand. But if you want something that's very easy to use, enjoyable to use, amazing gloss and slickness, then this is going to be one of the products that's going to offer all of that. And their next product is the Flex Wax. This can be used as a standalone product. It can be used as a drying aid and as a spray and rinse off type of sealant and protection. This will most likely be your maintenance. So if you're gonna use all three of these, you polish, you protect as your base layer, and then you use this as a topper or as maintenance. This is going to be extremely easy to use. As you saw, it didn't leave any type of smearing. It wasn't like the Hybrid Solution spray coating that you need to use a damp towel. I didn't find that to be the case, at least with this job. Maybe later on, and with different paints, because they react differently, maybe you might need to use a damp towel, but again, that's just the method, get used to it. Otherwise, I am loving the new Pro line. So we used it on a very important job. This was a real life job. This is not a friend's vehicle, it's not my vehicle. This is a customer's vehicle. I'm gonna tell you right now, he spent $700. The price ticket on this job is $700. That's what we charged. And we went overboard because we did a few extra things. That's okay to do. As a business, that's my choice to do. And I will offer those things willingly or basically as a discount, because it's kind of like an incentive for the customer. If it's in here in the shop for a day or two, why not add a few of those things in the bill and just knock out the price? So the windshield, we put it on the windshield, the Flex Wax. We also redid the trim. We restored the trim. That's probably like a $200 service right there that we added in. And the results speak for themselves. The customer is going to love it. So guys, thank you for watching. I know it was a long one. I'm glad you hung in all the way to the end because it's a pretty extensive review and kind of application and documentation of going through this job and using these new Hybrid Solutions Pro products. I'll have everything that we used down below so that you can produce the same type of results if you are a detailing business. If you're an enthusiast or a do-it-yourself detailer and you're dealing with overspray and you want to gloss up the paint and use some really good products, these might be for you. If not, if you don't like the products or you have some personal issue against them, I don't care. They work for me and they work for a ton of other people. So with all that said, I hope you enjoyed the video. Give it a thumbs up, like it, share with others who may enjoy it or benefit from it. Don't forget to subscribe and click that bell so you don't miss stuff. And we'll see you guys next time. Have a great week.